I want to talk about being fortunate, being able to have access to the things that I have, and talking about how fortunate I am. It is currently 3:30 in the morning. Work got called off. Most people would look at that as a bad thing, but I look at that as being fortunate enough to have a job that requires early hours into the mid afternoons of hard work, labor, or gives you that gratification of hard work. Maybe I didn't get to get out there and make some money, but that's not really something that I should have to worry about. I see that I'm fortunate enough to have a job that pays well, that allows me to go out and make money that will support my family and give me more leverage than the average person. And when I say leverage, I obviously don't mean power or anything like that because people say money is power. I just mean being able to have the opportunity to have the cash of spending it on myself or my loved ones or needing to pay a bill or something like that, because I admire a lot of the people who work 9 to 5 jobs, because me personally, I've never had to do that. And I could never see myself doing it. But if I had to, I most definitely would. But my admiration for people who work 9 to 5s is very large because I don't think I would be able to handle it. Yeah, I could go out at any time in the morning. It could even be 12 in the morning, and I could go out and work and come back home at 5 p.m. Yeah, I would be tired, but the the type of labor feels satisfying and gives me I think the right word is gratification. So being able to do that really gives me a sense of awareness of how fortunate that I really am. And I think that it gives me a lot more purpose because some people don't have the opportunities that others have. And there are a lot of people out there that find it very difficult to even find a job. And the situation, the circumstances are different for everybody. But I think that everybody should be able to have a job if they so please. And I feel like if you're out there and you have no background, there still should be odd jobs out there, like very, very simple jobs that are easy to access, like around your city or neighborhood or whatever. Like even going out and doing odd jobs would really give a good impact on yourself or on that person. And it's just all in good hard work. There's just something about it that is so gratifying. And I know there's some days where you get up and you don't want to go to work, but you just have to think about it. You are in a position where you are able to clock in and you are able to make money. Some people can't do that. Some people don't have the ability to, no matter what it may be, if they may be disabled or, anything like that. I don't have any more examples, but there are more than just that. But be grateful, be generous, be honest, because some people don't have the opportunities that we may have. And some people may wish and want and hope to have what some of us have. Like some people would love to work, and sometimes that's just not an opportunity or isn't available to them at the time, or whatever their situation may be. So when you clock in and you say that you don't want to be there, or say that everything's a bit miserable, think of it as in, like, if you were living like on a street corner and you had no home, you had no close relatives that were willing to help you, and you were just stuck there and you had no references and you had no opportunity to try and get into a position where you can make money. So always remember that you are very fortunate to have something going for yourself. No matter how much you may be making, how long you've been working, and what career path you're taking, it really is just a very good opportunity for yourself, and you should never take it for granted and never bat an eye at it because it's something amazing, really. And yes, you can be tired, you can be overworked, you could be hungry, you could be angry, happy, sad, mad. You know, it's emotion, that's fine. But in the end of the day, that's good hard work, and that'll get you a long way if you play your cards right and pick and choose, you know, how do I want to spend this money? Do I want to I got this problem. Like do I want to go out and spend my money on a box or a pack of playing cards? Or do I want to be able to buy groceries this week? Those are two very completely different options, but they're important options. If you have the extra cash, yeah, go ahead, buy that box of playing cards. But if you don't, the smart move, you already know what it is. You're going to go out and get those groceries. Now think of it as somebody who doesn't have the cash, somebody who hasn't been able to work for days, months, years, you know, and still doesn't have that opportunity. So you have to think about it. You're very fortunate where you are, and you should never take it for granted. And giving yourself that time to reflect on it is also very good as well, because a lot of us just pick and choose what to look at and how to listen to things. And if you just take a step back and you realize what you have and how much of it you do have, or maybe how little you have, it doesn't matter. I mean, you still have to be grateful for everything that you do have, even if it may be a few bucks. That'll still get you something at the McDonald's dollar menu for now. But you should be very happy with how things are going for you. And another thing is, if you're not happy and content, I get that. I understand that because life it's been a little difficult. It's something that can have its ups and downs for sure, and I've slowly been learning that. I'm only 20 years old, so I haven't experienced much life yet, but I am slowly learning the pros and cons of things throughout this life, and it is definitely a mess. That's why you should never take anything for granted, because every opportunity, every little thing, every big thing, everything about it matters. And if you play your cards right, you will be successful, you will be happy, you'll be surrounded by loved ones, and you will feel the heaviness lift off your shoulders a little bit. And some of us aren't fortunate enough to have family members around. Some of us aren't fortunate enough to have the friendships. And that's why, if you do have these things, you should be extremely grateful, because not everybody can experience that and have the enjoyment of it. But on that note, if you feel alone or lonely or just kind of out of touch or out of place with yourself, remember that you can always talk to anybody on the street, at the store, even at your local bank. I don't know why, but you could. Um, it was probably a bad example, but you could talk to anybody. And most of the time, people are willing to listen. We're all human. We all are living through this life kind of fixated on certain things and going through different emotions all the time and given certain opportunities. And when you go up to any random person and you just ask them how their day's going, or you give them, well, maybe not give them, but yeah, actually, you give them a compliment, it will brighten up their day, but let alone it'll brighten up your day because just went out of your way to make either somebody smile or somebody think about themselves in a better light, or have a conversation with somebody that possibly may help you also look at yourself in a different light. Because when you are stuck and don't really know what to think, or if you're stuck and you need advice, or you know, don't go out and ask, like, like your local junkie or your local crack or your local crackhead for advice, obviously. But sometimes those people do have some pretty damn good advice. You just gotta find the right ones. But obviously, it's the certain advice you're looking for, not all of it, because you know for sure that ain't gonna be true. So, yeah, if you just sit back, reflect, and kind of be grateful for what you do have. If you don't have the ability or the opportunities to go out and find work, there are a lot of connections out there. It's something that is not unknown. There are a lot of odd jobs out there. There are a lot of people looking for workers, especially lately. The way I've seen a lot of things, I think that labor needs are very high. It's just the confidence, or the lack of confidence, I should say, that people have to go out and really find that job. Because if, the motivation can really lack pretty bad. But yeah, if you just go out, talk to people, ask them how their day's going, give them a compliment, that'll lead you to a lot more opportunity than you think. It's not just a simple hello. It's you being able to connect with another human being and being able to have a meaningful conversation with somebody. And it might lead you to something you didn't even expect. Realistically, like the amount of times I've gone out and I've had conversations with random people, they led to a lot more interesting conversations than I thought it would. Because this person knows this person. Oh, that happened then, 20 years ago when I was your age, you know what I mean? Like, conversations like that, they tend to happen a lot more than you think. And a lot of the time, you don't have those conversations because you procrastinate and you try to hide yourself away from everybody around you. But in the reality is, you don't need to do that because we're all human. We're all trying our best. And the opportunities are infinite, really. If you think about it, the opportunities are infinite.